From Cigcola Labs. We just got finished doing experiment number 2. And just like experiment number 1, we're going to go through the video and just take a look at what we learned and point out some of the more interesting parts of the activation, how people were acting, how they were engaging with everything that was going on. If you haven't seen experiment number 1, it's all in the channel. You're probably seeing this if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, Cigcola Labs is a project, a content series about starting an advertising agency from scratch. We focus on public campaigns and advertising activations with very low cost. And our whole premise is to attract attention through these campaigns. And you can see in experiment number 1 and now experiment number 2 exactly what we're doing to attract this attention. And we're just going to get at it right here. So, like, follow, subscribe, share. It's been a great journey so far, and here we go. So, experiment number 2, we started with this basketball hoop that you see here. I'm going to pull up my pen. Okay. That you see here. We found this on the street in our neighborhood, and we've took this basketball hoop and through, a few Facebook Marketplace calls and some texts and some other findings in other neighborhoods and ours, we were able to construct this little backboard with basketball hoop and this stand that you'll see in the back. Now, again, on the channel, you can go and you can visit, you can see all the behind the scenes footage where we find the stuff, talk about the stuff, put it together, drill holes, drill it together, fix it, tape it, fix the net. You can see on the net here that we actually had to loop the net in and then tape it because the net is from one basketball hoop and then this hoop is from another. And again, we're just looking for ways to create these campaigns by using very little. That's the whole point. So I think this whole thing cost us around $12.50. And the reason why it was $12.50 is because I did buy a couple baseballs, but the baseballs were too hard to hit against the backboard. I did buy a clipboard for the activation. I had to print some stuff, and that's about it. Everything else we found, either it was leftover wood or, I have my own tools and my own pens and Sharpies and paint. So let's go through this, and you're going to see like what we created and what was going on through the whole time. Look at that. Look at that. Welcome to Cigcola Labs, Experiments in Attention. This is how we started. So right away, we started with just a little bit of clip of people who are engaging with the activation because we just wanted to, start off the video with a bang. And that character that you saw earlier came with his group of friends, and you're going to see them a bit later. Right now, what you're seeing is the premise of the game, which is essentially we chose a brick. We found this great little strip of bricks on Granville Street in Vancouver, and you're going to see a wide shot of the street coming up. And what we did was we decided to play a game which was called Best Shot of the Day. And the best shot of the day was essentially the person who made the shot the furthest away from the hoop. Now, there's no thinking to this. It's not a wild game that you need to know all the rules. All you need to know while I'm standing there and telling people how to play is you shoot, you have 2 shots, and if you sink it, you get another 2 shots, and the length will just grow throughout the day, right? So when we go back to the video, you can see here, this is our little panel board that we created, and what we did is we bought this great double-sized, maybe triple-sized clipboard, and if you look at the behind-the-scenes videos again, I painted this clipboard white. I wanted it to stand out. I know I'm in public. I had printed this QR code and I knew this would be black and white. So I didn't want that brown type of shading. Like this is what a clipboard shade is. I'd rather just have it like a bright white, right? With a little bit of a QR code in the middle, because I was literally standing on the street being like, subscribe to play, subscribe to play. And you want it to shine. You want it to stand out. Hopefully one day we can even have lights and we can have other people, I don't know, juggling. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that you need to capture someone's attention as they walk by. And I'm not I've done a couple of these displays before. I once worked in downtown Toronto with a major retail outlet called Saks Fifth Avenue, high-end luxury items. And when I worked with the window display manager, the person who puts things in the window, she said to me, if you can make them stop and look for 3 seconds, you have a better chance of turning them into a customer. And that's exactly what we did on the street. Like, I would entice people to be like, you know, $20 for the best shot of the day. And they're like, $20. I'm like, all you have to do is subscribe to play. A lot of people leave, they don't want, they thought that you had to pay to play, but I'd say, no, it's free. And on those one, two, threes, I would get a lot of people turning and being like, wait, so what, it's just free to play? I'm like, yeah. And I'd explain the rules, especially when there were other people in front of the display, in front of what we were doing. It made them feel a little more comfortable to come and engage and come and speak with me about what exactly was going on. This board was very helpful. Even though it did have a few of the rules on that, I don't think people were actually reading the rules. I used it as two things. One, to put the name of the campaign and the name of the company, and two, for the QR code. And it was big and it was bold and it was bright and it was in the light of the street. And a lot of people looked at it. People were staring at it even when it was on the ground. Like, what is that? Right. And when you're creating your scenario, that's kind of the the visual that you want to give. I worked in the film industry for a long time, and we were responsible for building film sets. And one of the things that I understood very quickly is that you want to create levels of height and visuals of where people's eyes go, right? So like 1, 2, 3. And sometimes the sign was on the ground, sometimes it was in the middle. I actually didn't hold it up high, but now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been pretty good to like hold it up high and direct people's attention to the basketball hoop where people were playing. And you'll understand right now. I'm going to press play and you'll see the whole setup. So this is the basketball hoop we created. Again, it wasn't supposed to be a beauty contest. I'm not trying to make it look as beautiful as possible. It just had to work. It just had to have functionality of standing there and being able to, be shot at, because the whole point is to engage people into coming into the channel and understanding what we're doing. When they're shooting, I have some time to speak with them, explain what we're doing. A lot of people were interested in the channel. A lot of people were interested in why we were out there in the first place. Had a couple of good questions. How long have you been here? How long have you been doing your channel? What's the channel about? Is this on YouTube? And these are questions that you want to be answering and questions that you want to be prompting. Like, you want to be explaining people. You're pitching yourself to the world as multiple things, as either a content creator or a company, or you have a product or you have a service, and you only have a few seconds to do it. That 3-second rule is really important. And those follow-up questions you get from the people who are engaging with your product or service or activation, that's how you can start creating a relationship between you and them. And the beautiful part about this is that you get to engage with our little activation, and you get to have a great time, and there's a prize involved, and there's upcoming events involved, and now we can stay in communication. You can come out to the next one, bring your friends. Maybe the prize will be something you really, really want. When we start collaborating with other companies, we're going to be introducing a lot of products to these types of activations. And hopefully, in the future, as we grow and we get bigger, these activations will be able to relate to multiple industries and cross collaborate the types of people who are playing in them. So, all in all, it's just such a great raw way to interact, engage, and bring people in. And I'm just reiterating how important it is to follow that 3-second rule. Pitch yourself, know what you're saying, and really get in there and get into that person's world, because everyone's private, and you want to relate to them in a way that is comfortable, give off a good vibe, and have them play this crazy little game that cost what was it, $12 to make, and they're giving you their time, experiments, and attention. We are earning your time, your subscription, your word of mouth. And these are things that I think personally are a little bit taken advantage of and taken for granted in today's world. Everybody thinks you need to go digital, so we're going to go physical, and we'll expand into digital later, but we're going to start grassroots now. So just a few lessons from me. So back to the hoop. Standing here, standing tall. This is Granville Street. There's a main train station down here in the back. This was a big shopping center that used to be there. It was called Nordstrom. It's gone now. But, there's a lot of empty space. And in this area, what I did is I was actually going to go to the arena area, but the place I wanted to set up was just, it was disgusting. It wasn't in a good state. It had garbage everywhere. It reeked of all different types of scents that I'm not even going to say on video here. And I thought to myself, where am I going to go? So I went down to Granville Street, which is one of my favorite streets in Vancouver. I grew up there as a young kid running up and down the streets. They used to have great secondhand stores with video games and all these types of CD stores. That's where I used to go when I was a teenager. And I'm just comfortable there. I'm comfortable on that street. I know it in and out. And I found two stores that were side by side that were empty. And I said, you know what? Let's set up here. Let's set up in the sun, which I am learning really quickly that people love to play in the sun. Like, it's not a dark little alley and you're not like, hey, like come back here and throw the ball. No, you're in the sun and you're in public and you got to give off that good vibe, right? You're not trying to sell them anything. You're not trying to, trick them into anything. It's literally subscribe here and play. Like, throw this ball into the hoop. And my whole belief is that this is something I would do. I would walk up to here, and if I could, and I wasn't in a hurry, which some people were, and they couldn't play. They didn't have their phone, or they, whatever, for whatever reason, someone was calling them, and I would play this game. And if I'm going to play, then I think other people may also want to play. So that was the whole concept. And then these bricks is what I used to go like shot 1 and then shot 2 and then shot 3 and then shot 4 and then shot 5. And it just kept on going throughout the day. And that's what I meant by best shot of the day. And it worked. It worked like a charm. And you're going to see throughout this video all the people playing this game and moving back.
Awesome, you guys are first, man.
First
I like
players.
that.
How long have you been out here for?
10 minutes.
How long have you been out here for? That's an engaging question. Hey, guys, best shot of the day, $20. Subscribe to play. Check your email. Sign up with your email and subscribe. Show me you subscribed. How long have you been out here? That's great. Having dialogue. Now, before we continue, the emails are super important. I think emails are very very valuable in communicating with people, so you can really build a following, give them new videos, give them new ideas of where we're going to play, ask them where they want to have the next activation. I'd like to do that. I'd like to email some of the contacts and say, where would you like to see an activation? People have good ideas. People have creative thoughts. It's very hard to produce these types of activations, having just the courage to do it, or finding the stuff, or being organized, or just finding the time in your busy day. And sometimes people don't want to do all the production. I come from a production background, so I enjoy that, but some people just don't want to do it. They just want to have it there for them so they can come and engage and play. And just email is a great way of keeping that communication open. And on top of that, comments on videos. And when you can get them engaged in your world, you're going to see a lot more loyalty to the brand and appearances and brand awareness and word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best marketing you can have. If I pull a friend and I say this place or this thing is really great, that friend, if they're a real friend, is probably going to look at it twice. There is nothing better than that. And that's something I'm trying to build here. So how long have you been out here? 10 minutes. Awesome. While he's writing the email, right? Just keeping engaged. I do yell at people while they're walking by, $20 to play, but I'm just keeping them engaged the whole time, keeping them engaged, right? Just realized that I might not be in the video, but now I am. There you go.
That works.
So, Isaac, all you got to do is subscribe to play. No, you don't have to pay. That's all you have to do is subscribe to play. No, you don't have to pay. So that's one of the things that we had to really, drill into people, right? No, you don't have to pay. This isn't a pay to play. I'm not here with like a $12 net asking you to pay me so you can play. No, all I just want is your subscription. All I want is your attention. We together are going to grow this brand and grow this company as we go along. So just subscribe to play and follow along. That's all I'm asking from you.
That's it. Isaac's out. You have a chance.
Engaging with the people who are playing is really fun. You have to be on, you have to be fun, and you have to be like, just live and in the moment with them. They want to remember this. Like I want them to go home and be like, oh man, we saw this thing, or hey, like this guy was standing out there and he was doing this. That's word of mouth. Maybe they're going to show other people the video when it comes out. Maybe they'll bring their friend next time. Every single engagement is so important, and you want to keep on, just racking up that loyalty and racking up that personal engagement with the people who are literally at your activation. It's super important. Here's a brand new group of people.
Yeah. So if you want to play, you got to
getting it in, shooting the bucket. Now I edited this video to be a little quicker. I didn't want it to be a longer video like the last one. I just wanted to show people throwing the fast pace of Granville Street. It is very fast paced. There's a lot of people walking back and forth. And I got a lot of interest, right? So I just wanted to show the interest as it was going and as it was keeping going on. So here's another group of people, yet another, just come in to play the game. They see the people playing. They see the little basketball hoop. Maybe they play basketball. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just chilling on the street, like having a Saturday, and they came by the booth and there was like 6 of them. And I was already engaged with one group, but now I'm engaging with another group. And this is something I want to talk about later on. I found this one really difficult to keep up with the bouncing ball and the net and the binder and the thing. And we'll talk about that near the end. But here's a brand new group of people, and you can hear how we're talking with them to bring them into the game.
Subscribe, leave your email. She's first, and then you guys can play. So think about it.
Is it on YouTube?
Is it on YouTube? Yes, it's on YouTube. How long have you been out here? Is it on YouTube? Let's remember these questions. These are good questions. These are questions you want to, make sure that people know. And yes, it's on YouTube. You don't have to go further. The subscribe button is already there. The QR code is already there. Like they've already heard the pitch. Yes, it's on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Moving on.
It's on YouTube.
So you can see here, this is how the game is progressing through the day. The basketball hoop is back here, and we're just jumping. We're just jumping across the bricks as people get it in throughout the day.
You have to subscribe to play, yeah.
Got to subscribe to play. I want to take a shot. You got to subscribe to play. You have to subscribe to play. It's not asking so much. You already see that the board is here, right? The board moves throughout the whole day. Like it's here and then there's someone put it down, someone took it. I had it, but it really fulfilled a purpose. Next time, now that I think about it, I would put another sign, like this window was open. I could have just put it up and people could have scanned there, but these are things I'm learning about. Coming back to my point before, I found it really difficult to take care of the ball that was bouncing, take care of the sign, getting people to subscribe, getting people to write their email, showing me that they subscribed, because there were quite a few people. There at one point there was like 8 people around me, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting what I'm out there for as well, which is the channel described and pitched and the emails and getting everyone in line and remembering who's first, who's second, who's third. There was a lot to do. And now that I think about it, as much as it was fun to have this type of physical activation, I either need some help or I need to tone it down a little bit and not be worried about people leaving because they didn't have time. Figure something out that maybe they could play a side game. These are all things that are going to come in the future. But for now, I was just focused on the people who are engaged and in front of me and playing, because a lot of these people who you see shooting are still following the channel or looking at the Instagram stories or liking the videos. And that's how you build a following. None of this is being paid to get people's attention. It's all being earned. And that's what we're doing. Cigcola Labs is earning the right and earning your attention. So let's keep going here.
Yeah. Best shot of the day wins $20.
Best shot of the day wins $20. That was it all day, just telling people best shot of the day, best shot of the day, best shot of the day. And it worked. It worked just like last time. Guess the stars in the jar, win $25.
No problem.
Taking
If
shots.
you shoot with both hot dogs in your hand, you'll win right away.
I thought it was pretty interesting that a lot of people had things in their hands. So this person here, he had two hot dogs. Another man came later on, and he had a bag full of sports gear. Everyone's got a phone. You know, some people have backpacks, some people have purses, some people have pets, strollers, all these types of things. And I haven't yet figured out what to do, but there's something there. There's something there about accessories in people's hands or on their being while they're engaging with this activation. And I'm going to think about that because it just seems like a good play later on down the road. But right now, I was so laser focused on the basketball hoop, that I was just, I couldn't think about what to do with these extra pieces. But a point I wanted to say is engaging, right? Engaging the two hot dogs. It's just a funny joke, and it's edited from the video, but we laughed about that. If you take a shot with both hot dogs, you win right away. Like, we had a good joke about that. And these are memorable moments and experiences that you want to have. You just want to be on and fun and playful. This isn't a straight interaction. Hey, you give me this and you can do. No, we're going to have some fun. We're going to build some rapport. We're going to show you that we're just here so that next time when you hear there's another activation and you see the activation, you're going to want to come and play. You're going to want to tell your friends in that neighborhood or this video releases, like, check this out. This is fun. And that's how you can really double, triple, quadruple your video count. And I think we'll go through the numbers at the end, but we more than doubled the subscriber count, especially with emails, right? And these are really important metrics to grow the channel. It's not all just about metrics, but it's a very important part of it for the longevity of the project.
I like how when people actually stop.
That was funny because, it had been a while. I think I was out there for 2 hours total, but 10, 15 minutes went by and not a single person stopped or whatever. And then I had two people who showed up.
King of the day.
These two gentlemen who are super excited to play, and they were so excited that they wanted to just, they had skateboards in their hands and they just left their skateboards and ran over and wanted to sign up. I'm like, hold on, let's take a second. It is Granville Street after all. Let's not leave any personal belongings. Why don't you put them in this little cubby hole that I had behind the basketball hoop and sign up properly, and let's have a little bit of a discussion. And this person on the left actually ended up winning for the day. I think it was Kai. And you'll see the sticker on the best shot of the day later. And while they're signing up, I'm just continuing to pitch because groups attract groups. And although you also want to give your full attention to the people right in front of you, it's good to get more people interested, get more people around and line them up. And even if they don't end up playing, they might subscribe. I had a couple of subscribers just because they're like, this just sounds cool, but I got to go. Right? They didn't actually even end up playing. You always want to be engaging and pushing and getting as far as you can, but there's a fine line between overstepping into a whole new group of people when you have, your audience members right in front of you, right? So I made sure they're set up, and then what was I doing? Yelling.
Trust me, not a lot of people get it. Best shot of the day wins $20. Best shot of the day was $20.
Right back to them, right? Out of breath. Best shot of the day was $20 and then right back to them. So this is where you see how far the game has progressed after that winner. Here's this little cubby hole I was talking about on the right side. Here's another thing. So I had the hoop and the base. I had the ball. I had my own personal belongings. I had the board and then I had the people, and then I had the public. So I had like all these things juggling at once, six different things, trying to get everything in line, trying to get everybody going together. And it was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know what could have changed. The ball did go over the hoop a lot of times, and I had to go and chase the ball. Sometimes there were so many people, and they're like, "Where do I sign up? What do I do?" I mean, that's great. I'm not going to complain about that. I was worried sometimes that this would tip over or it shifted and I had to fix it. You could see the tape out here, and I was just like making sure I had to put the tape on the ground. There was just a lot to do, and that's fine. But in the future, it's something I'll remember that, an assistant or some help. Oh, and finally, the most important is I was filming everything the whole time, right? I had the camera on and I was turning it on and off, and I had to get a shot and I had to move. It was so much to do with this physical type of interaction where there was a bunch of moving objects, but it's super fun and it yielded great results. But I'm really going to have to think of tightening it up moving forward. Okay, so let's keep going. Taking a shot.
Nice try.
That person who just shot, actually, she was a server. She even told me, she's like, "Oh, I have my own pen. Don't worry, I'm a server." And I was like, "What made you stop?" And she just said it looked fun. That was really cool. That was great. So the concept played. Then I had this group of people, like another group. I think
Best
there's
shot of the day.
three of them just shooting, super excited to play. They're just like, "How do I do this? What do I need to do? What is it?"
Wins $20.
And they asked all the questions, and it was great. And we had good rapport and dialogue the whole time.
Best shot of the day wins $20.
Another person. Another.
Ooh. Whoa.
Great group of people. They came, they asked a bunch of questions. They were super energetic. They were super happy. They were asking about the channel and the concept and what the future was going to bring. And we actually started to talk about some advertising. And I was asking them questions, like, do you see a lot of stuff like this? Are there any people outside of stores who are doing this type of activation? And they're just like, no, it's nothing like that. That's why we stopped. It's really fun to see this type of thing. It's really exciting. Can't wait to see the video. Can't wait to see it on YouTube. And I really liked that. I really liked that people want to go a little bit beyond and take a look at what's happening all over.
Oh, all these people.
All these people. So again, if we count the people right now, I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the back here. This was all a group of 3. This person's signing up. This was a group of 2, and then I think there's 2 back here. So you can see how it adds up. And because it's in public and because it's on the street, there's no lineup, there's no stanchion, there's no order. People just want to play, and the thing is getting passed around. And as I'm filming and catching the ball again, I'm trying to get everybody, to get their turn, because it could have very easily gone the other way where it's like, oh, I was first. And it's public. It's public. These people don't know each other. Fortunately, there was no animosity, but I very quickly understood that can be something that goes down. So just something to keep in the back of the head as we move on forward. But also, orderly is boring, right? Orderly is standing in line. It's like you just want to leave. You want to go do something else. That's how I feel anyway. When I'm standing in line, I'm like, do I even want to be here? So maybe there's something we can incorporate later on where it is kind of a free-for-all. And the people who are ready to stand in line will stand in line. And the people who want to just run and be chaotic and have fun and explore, they can go do that too. And that's something I'm thinking about. So whoever's watching this video, that's something that may come out later, is a little more of an explore the world campaign. So keep your eyes out for that. Let's keep on going.
Best shot of the day wins $20. You guys want to play as well?
Best shot of the day wins $20.
Awesome. A month ago.
There you go. So how long have you been doing this? A month ago. And this person, I remember, was also very into it. They were very curious about what was going on, what was happening, what the concept of the project was, why we were out there. And it's just really, really good feedback to hear their focus, right? When I tell people, yeah, this hoop, I think I was saying it costs between $11 and $14. So like, oh, what? That's crazy. Like, what is this? They didn't realize that the hoop was constructed out of three, four, five different random materials until I brought it up and they looked at it to kind of prove that it didn't even matter what it looked like. People just wanted to play. And when people just want to play, that means you're onto something.
Yeah, so this is the second one. Whoa! Someone needs to take that spot.
Later on in the day, when the sun was setting a little bit, it was getting a little bit slower. I started directing people to the spot, and I noticed something really funny. Is remember in the earlier part of the video, I was talking about the 1, 2, 3s. So I was like, here, best shot of the day wins. All you have to do is subscribe. Here you can play and whatever. But I finally caught my third. I would say best shot of the day wins $20. All you have to do is subscribe. That's the point. Like the point, that's the marker. That's the best shot of the day. And I would catch them. Best shot of the day to the basketball hoop. All you have to do is subscribe to the board. That's the point of the day, the mark. And I would get that 1, 2, 3. And with the 1, 2, 3, once they look up back at me, I'm like, why don't you give it a shot? You're already here. And I roped in a lot of interest that way. Not everybody played, but I was able to hit them with a 3-point information block that wasn't too hard to understand. It was very visual. There's a basketball hoop. Oh, that's a QR code. Oh, okay, that's the best shot of the day. And if you can get people to imagine themselves as being the winner and going and shooting and having that fun, I think that's like 90% of the way. The last 10% is just actually getting them to step up to the line. But if you catch them in those moments, usually their interest is peaked enough that they'll actually come and engage with your activation.
$20.
That was cool. Somebody had heard me, best shot of the day, $20, and she just yelled it back at me like $20, and I'm like $20, and it was cool because it got other people interested. It's not just my voice anymore. It's not my voice. This woman's voice is like $20, and I'm like $20, and now people are yelling $20, and they're like, "What's this $20? What $20? Why is there a basketball hoop here? And why is this ball flying all over the place?" It causes excitement. It causes curiosity. It causes a reason to stop and look again. And sometimes that 3-point system isn't mine. $20, $20, ball goes through the air, or somebody else says, I want to play, or a bus goes by. It's causing, like it's creating an environment. And from my experience in film, that's what you want to do. You want to create a 360 environment, even though the camera is not always going 360. People are 360 creatures. They can turn their heads. They can walk one way. They can walk the other way. You give them the space to explore, and they will explore that space. It's just a human phenomenon in that way. And that's the kind of people we want to be engaging with, people who are going to walk into a room and look at every single corner, or people who walk into a room and don't as well. That's totally fine. There's a whole different method for engaging with those people. Maybe I have to go to them and be like, hey, there's a corner over here and here and here and here. There's so much to explore. Would you like to know more about it? Right? So multiple levels in this, and it's just all so great. So these were two of the last people to play the game. Very friendly, very excited. Again, wanted to have fun. Subscribed, email, everything went really well. And
Yeah.
they had some really good shots. While they were signing up, I had this gentleman come up, and he was asking about the channel. He said, all I have to do is subscribe. What's the channel for? Let's watch it.
Yes. Great shirt.
What do you do in the channel?
I'm building an advertising agency from scratch.
So great shirt was to the person walking by. He had just this awesome t-shirt on, and you don't always have to engage with just people in front of you or about this advertising display. Like, I'm out in the world and I'm having a great time as well. So I'm going to point out things that I like and, just comment on it because I'm in that mood. I'm in an outgoing mood and I'm having fun and I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm keeping myself awake and myself uplifted by noticing things that are to my interest as well while this whole thing is going on, right? And here you go, the last shots of the day. just having a great time and winding down. I'm getting a little bit tired as well. Sun is kind of setting, and it's Granville Street, it's downtown. You can't really just be all trusting, and I noticed that daytime is very good, or well lit areas.
Oh, good shot. Best shot of the day wins $20.
That was so.
And here we are. This is the end of the day. That was the point. You just had Kai there on the point, and what I did is I wanted to finish the day with,
So I said, what kind of 52-year-old?
here you go, the last shot of Granville Street. You can see this person back here is watching me film. I had a lot of people doing that. I had a lot of people watching what was going on and just enjoying the scenes. That was cool. Maybe some people are shy. Maybe a lot of people are like, I don't know how to play basketball, or I'm not good. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. You just come, you just play, you just have a good time. You don't need to do that. And I even, told a lot of people that that's okay. Like, just have a good time. But they ended up subscribing anyway. And then for the numbers, like, what I do is I always go back and I find out what the engagement was. And essentially, for 2 hours of time with $12.50, we managed around 20 subscribers on the YouTube channel and around 35 emails, right? So I noticed that there were a lot of drop offs this time for subscriber counts. I don't know why that is. I also looked to make sure people were subscribed. Maybe I'm assuming that they were discouraged that they didn't win. Like, a lot of people shot and they're like, oh, I didn't win, so I'm not going to continue engaging, or I'm not interested. Whereas with the stars from experiment number one, which is in the description, like on the channel, your guess carried over. It carried over a long way. You may have won. You don't know if you have won. You may have won. You're not going to find out until later, because all guesses were valid. But when you throw the ball and you miss, you know that you have no chance. So it's much harder to get them to follow up unless they're very interested in the channel. So that's something I'm going to remember. Either there needs to be a follow up opportunity, or some way to keep them engaged. And we're going to find that out as we learn and we go along, because this is very raw stuff, right? This is extremely raw. It's figuring it out from finding basketball hoops and the ball and the net and constructing it and filming it, into finding spaces in public to put it and engage with people. And right now we're doing very general activations. It's on the street somewhere in front of a mall. Usually it's in front of a mall. It was in front of a mall last time. It's in front of a mall this time. Later on, we want to go maybe in front of a concert, or in front of a sports arena like I was going to, or in front of insert thing here that is more vertically aligned. And the experiment will have to do with, either fashion or food or drink or sports, or you name it. It's completely scalable in every single way. And that's what makes this so exciting. But for now, we're trying to figure out how to just keep these people engaged on generic activations. So that was experiment 2. Thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. If you played, thank you for staying subscribed and enjoying this content. There's going to be way more of these. We're literally starting from scratch. So like, share, subscribe, and stay subscribed, and see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.